Hello, everyone. This is Tony Battaji here to explain cardiovascular training and why we're doing certain things in a certain way during this intermediate level program. When we think about weight training, it's very easy to imagine that a beginner's program designed to improve movement awareness and teach technique and understand how to recruit muscles is quite different to an advanced program where you know how to perform movement. So we add overload techniques and make it much more volume, many more sets, much more load, much harder. When we think cardiovascular training, we often forget that there really is the same kind of progression. For a beginner, we would typically teach clients how to get regular with their walking, how to improve their steps, how to maybe have exercise snacks. So after their lunch or after their dinner, after prolonged sitting, they just get up and break inactivity with movement. There is a lot of research that has shown that exercise snacking and walking straight after meals improves health parameters. For a beginner, we're just trying to get this habit going. So get up, move, break inactivity, whether it's typing at a computer or having a long lunch or dinner, get moving straight afterwards. It improves your metabolic health. For the advanced individuals who've been training for some time and have built up more impressive levels of fitness, we'll often use a style of training called high intensity interval training. And that is where we rev the system. We push the heart high and then we back it off. We push it high and we push it. We're going in and out of the red zone where the heart is pumping at maximum capacity. This is very scary for many people and for good reason. It's very challenging work. And we have to make sure it's appropriate to the individual. What do we have in between walking and encouraging daily movement and interval training? Well, this is where the phrase low intensity steady state comes. And we use the phrase zone 2 because coaches use a 5-zone model to prescribe exercise. Interval training is zone 4 and 5. It's really challenging. It's the red zone. Steps and walking is zone 1. Now that leaves us with zone 2 and 3. Now zone 3 is typically a 5K, a 10K run. It's 20 minutes, it's 30 minutes. Often called tempo training. It's also very challenging. So I would actually say zone 3, 4, and 5, whether it's race pace or interval training, is perfect for advanced trainees. That leaves us with zone 2. So what is zone 2? It is the exercise intensity that you could continue potentially for a few hours once you built up fitness levels. It's conversational. You can go out on a zone 2 jog or bike ride with a friend and talk to them the entire way. Yes, you'll be puffing. It'll be labored conversation. But if you are riding up a hill and going for it, you can't talk, right? That's zone 3, 4, 5. You absolutely cannot talk. So zone 2 technically is the exercise intensity that keeps our heart rate in a very narrow zone. And the way that we work this out is 2 ways. Very simply, we have your age deducted from 180. So 180 minus your age, that gives us the upper limit. And then we deduct 10 beats from that, and that gives us a zone. You might spend 5 minutes to elevate your heart rate to that number, and then you want to hold it there. Now, we're going to suggest that you hold it there for 20 minutes. So 5 minutes getting into it, hold it constant for 20 minutes, and then a 5-minute just doodling, come back down, check your emails, whatever. And then that's your 30-minute workout done. The laws of training tell us whatever you did this week, you do a little bit more next week. And that's how we get fitter. We're going to add time. So we're not going to add intensity. We're going to add time. Now, this builds a base. And anyone with the background from endurance sport will go, yeah, I know this. You must build a solid aerobic base before we start adding high intensity work. There's time to do high intensity work. It's just not right now. So we are now going to build your aerobic fitness called zone 2 training. Now, zone 2, it's a really fascinating zone because all of the metabolism occurs in your slow twitch muscle fibers. You remember we've got slow twitch designed to work all day, and then we've got fast twitch. Now, when we lift weights, when we do interval training, you're using fast twitch fibers. They require a hefty recovery period after you've really worked them because they're challenging. When we use slow twitch and low intensity, your recovery is really quick. So other than running, which is ground impact forces, if you're on a rower or you're swimming or you're biking, there's no ground impact. So you will recover and be able to train again the next day. You've got a 3-day-a-week weights program we would suggest that you do 3 zone 2 workouts starting at 20 minutes. And now you know how to work it out. 180 minus your age. If you happen to know what your maximal heart rate is, you've absolutely taken it up there one day, then it's about 75% of that number, or 70 to 80%, and I just go right in the middle. For me, the difference, because I know my max heart rate is about 3 beats. They're almost identical between 180 minus age and 75% of my heart rate is about 3 beats difference. That's pretty good. The other way of actually doing it is going to the lab and having a finger or an ear prick, and it measures your blood lactate and it tries to keep it under 2 millimolars. But we don't need to do that unless you're an overachiever. 180 minus your age is just perfect. So to summarize, zone 2 training is not for advanced. Well, you can do it if you're advanced, but we use a lot of interval training when you're advanced. We use a lot of just walking, zone 1, when you're a beginner, but now you're intermediate. We want to build a solid aerobic base. And we do this by working at a low intensity heart rate for a prolonged period. And this is all in the type 1 fibers, all slow twitch. It's all aerobic. You don't produce lactate, so you don't get that burning feeling. You're able to carry out a conversation with your friend. So do it with a friend. And we like activities that are technically not to, unless you are a runner, maybe not so much ground impact at this stage. So biking, swimming, rowing, all perfect. And keep your heart rate, take 5 minutes, keep your heart rate in that zone, and then come back out of it. And in time, we add minutes, add 5 minutes, add 10 minutes. And then eventually you'll be able to do about an hour in zone 2. And your metabolic health, your ability to metabolize glucose and keep blood fats down, and your blood pressure, all of these parameters, metabolic health, they improve when you do zone 2. It's really enjoyable. I do it on a stationary bike and I watch a movie or I zone out and listen to music. It's very, very enjoyable. In fact, I'm literally off this call right now to do an hour in zone 2. So fall in love with it. You're going to do a lot of it. So you may as well embrace zone 2 training. And I look forward to hearing your feedback. Thanks for tuning in.